So ladies, look, just divest. Abort and divest. Just divest. Abort and divest.
I'm pretty certain that every last one of you listening to the sound of my voice right now are well aware of the fact that the infamous Cynthia G, which is the image of the woman that you're looking at on your screen right now, let me start off at the beginning. About 2 weeks ago, a little more, had her main account suspended and demonetized. Then she immediately afterward goes to creating a whole new account and attempts to have that one monetized. And ever since then, somewhere, I would say about a week ago, it has now come to my attention that both accounts have been terminated. Now, this is from rumors what I'm hearing on YouTube. I don't know how certain it is, but from what I'm hearing is that she has also been banned from YouTube. Now, before I go any further with that, let me start off by saying this. Go down my usual routine. For those of you who appreciate or like the videos or the content that I produce on this channel, especially if you like and appreciate this one, then I want you to give me the thumbs up. Get the likes up on this production. Furthermore, share this production for someone who might actually need to hear this production. And last but not least, for those who would like to leave a contribution in support of the production that I made on this channel, you can feel free to leave a donation via the links in the description box. So now, with that being stated, and I might actually do a part 2 to this. I was thinking about making this into one long, damn near 2-hour long production, but I'm probably going to chop this up into 2 45-minute or 2 1-hour productions a piece. I don't know. But upon finding out this information of Cynthia G's channels being terminated, demonetized and terminated, my question that I would ask now, and this would go toward black women, what exactly did you learn from Cynthia G? And furthermore, what can you learn behind both of her channels being terminated now? What have you learned? Because over the years, as I've made productions pertaining to Cynthia G, what I would get every so often are her die-hard supporters that would come along to my comment thread and state that she's the truth, that she's awakening black women, and black women are learning so much from her. She's helping them out. This is the stuff that they come along and say. And I've often asked this question in many productions: what exactly did you learn? And furthermore, if you need to listen to Cynthia G in order to learn and to learn something about black men, I really don't know what else needs to be said. Because what I witnessed, and listen, I haven't watched Cynthia G in quite some time, even though some people that I've spoken to would tell me about content or videos that she's made that might particularly strike my interest, but still, I didn't have the patience to sit through or even listen to the sound of her voice. She was just no one that I can really stand listening to for no significant period of time. The last time I probably sat down and watched one of her videos in its entirety is probably more than a year and a half ago. So, as far as Cynthia G is concerned, and from what I've gathered, just the times when I've actually watched her and watched her rapid descend into hatefulness and also genocidal talking points, as I've come to conclude that Cynthia G is a woman that is impulsive, emotionally unstable, has no control over where she allows her or where her emotions take her, better yet. She is reactionary. She's one who lacks critical thinking skills, and furthermore, and probably most importantly, she lacks foresight. Because if she had any foresight, she would have been able to see this train wreck coming a long time ago. And she would have pivoted well before this could even happen. Let me just briefly give you some insight on Cynthia G. And this is a problem or a talking point that I listen to black men say time and time again, and even black women. Is that Cynthia G at one point was on her pro-black phase when she first got onto YouTube. And I'm gonna have to come back and keep correcting y'all. For those of you who watch this channel, some of y'all were still in high school when you first started listening to me. I've been on YouTube for a very long time, for well over a decade. And I've seen a lot of people come and go on this platform. As a matter of fact, her child's father, Robert Perkins, is one of the first people I actually caught wind of when it came down to the subject matters that I used to talk about before I ever decided to even post an actual video. But just for the record, Cynthia G was not now, nor has she ever been, a pro-black. Did she talk about white supremacy at one point? Was she a bit more balanced at one point? I can say absolutely yes. When she first came onto YouTube, she talked about black men, but she also talked about white supremacy, and she also talked about black women who made foolish dating choices. So was she a bit more balanced, or a lot more balanced, can I say? Absolutely. But once again, I'm gonna stick to my talking point remains that she was not now, nor has she ever been, a pro-black. That's never happened. As a matter of fact, many of y'all talk about her disdain toward Tariq Nasheed because he wanted nothing to do with her, because he could see through the phony facade. That's all it ever really was a phony facade. But first I want to let y'all listen to something.
To understand something. Everything that black men are doing, shout out to E Blacks for acknowledging that he's a dick sucking thug hunter.
All right. I played that clip for a reason, and this is also a clip that I've played before in another production that I did probably a little bit more than a year ago, addressing her talking points. And what I want people to pay attention to, I'm not even gonna say black men, I'm gonna say whoever is running around thinking that at one point in time, this woman was a pro-black, what I want you to catch wind of is something that she mentioned. Thug hunters. How many of you know what that is? Most of you probably don't even know what that is. But Thug Hunters is a website where you have moist, soft, effeminate beta males. And I'm talking about some of these black beta males, or black beta males, better what I'm talking about, who pretend to be thugs and allow white police to have this role play of white police officers or white guys, literally catching them and bending them over and engaging in degrading sex with them. This is what Thug Hunters is about. Most of you have never heard of this website because it is that irrelevant. It is a small remnant of soft, weak, effeminized, milquetoast, buck-broken beta Negroes who find themselves on this website. But the reason why I even reference this website is because of this. This is not, or better yet, that talking point that she made, that was a clip that I recorded sometime last year, I believe September 15th And as a matter of fact, the next time I play the clip, you'll see the exact date and timestamp when I actually recorded that off of one of her live streams. That's directly from the horse's mouth. Because there was no way in hell, and there's a lot more to that that really just gets disgusting, that people really need to pay close attention to. But Thug Hunters is a website that she had been referencing either since 2015 or no less or no more than a year after 2015 when she first got on the YouTube. So it's either somewhere between 2015 and 2016, she has been talking about this website and trying to make an equal comparison to this website to the infamous Ghetto Gaggers. Now, y'all all should know what Ghetto Gaggers is by now. I've made countless videos talking about this damn near a decade ago or more. So I shouldn't have to go ahead and bring this back up for those of you who might not know what it is. But she's trying to make a comparison because we know that it's black women on Ghetto Gaggers. And she's trying to make an equal comparison to Thug Hunters as if it were Ghetto Gaggers. And I'm sorry, no. Nothing takes the icing off the cake like Ghetto Gaggers. There's just no other way I can say this. And like I told you, it is a small remnant of soft, milquetoast, effeminate beta Negroes that find themselves going on Thug Hunters and engaging in that filth. But the reason why I'm even bringing this up is for all of you that run around and say that Cynthia G, she was once in a pro-black phase, and I'm gonna go back and tell you again, she has not now, nor has she ever been a pro-black. I remember when she first got on the YouTube. This was back in 2015. Let me also throw something else out here to remind y'all. The YouTuber Brian Solange was the first one to expose this and take pictures off of her social media accounts. The same way she was talking about evil albinoid devils and calling white people cave dwellers and Neanderthals. This was the same female that you could find up in pictures, partying with these same people, hanging out with these same people. In one photo particularly, with a white guy with his arm comfortably pressed around the waist of Cynthia G. But see, this was back from 2015. This is when it was actually captured and put out to the public. Nobody knows how long those pictures were on her social media accounts for before she took them down. So for those of you who sit back and say, well, at one point she was in a pro-black phase, I keep on bringing it back to you. If you buy into that one, if you believe that crock of lies, listen, I got a bridge in Brooklyn I'll sell you for an even better price. She has not been now, nor has she ever been a pro-black. This has never been the case with her, ever. The Thug Hunter website, the fact that she was referencing it since either 2015 or 2016 is damn near the same amount of time that she's been on YouTube for, because she came on YouTube back in 2015. What would she know about this website? And when she was referencing the website, she wasn't talking about the website from the perspective of, hey, black men, this don't look good on your image, and you need to clean this up. You need to deal with these soft, milquetoast, effeminate beta males, which is really a bunch of gay guys, a bunch of gay black men on this website pretending to be goddamn thugs. Pretty much homo thugs. But now you notice what's ironic about when she talks about Thug Hunters, she uses this to make a depiction of the heterosexual, masculine black man. However, we know this is the exact opposite. And then when it comes down to who she aligns with, what type of black man that she aligns herself with, it is these soft, melodramatic, pillow-biting, milquetoast, effeminate beta Negroes. I mean, thus far, she's been on 2 of their panels ever since this whole thing has happened to her. I mean, there's really not much else I can say behind that. So, I mean, what exactly are we talking about? But she uses this to make a depiction of black men, heterosexual black men, because we know that's who she really wants to attack. And like I told y'all, when she made those productions, or that video, because I did a response video, well, I can't even say response video, but I addressed the talking points that she made, and this was back in 2015, of another video that she made from 2015, where she was literally telling black men and all the whole dusty, dominated, conquered talk. She has been using this since 2015. How the hell do y'all get it in your head that at one point she was a pro-black? See, many of y'all got a very short memory. But I've been on this platform for quite some time, and I might not post that frequently, but I've seen many people come and go on this platform. I remember when Tommy Sotomayor first got on YouTube back in 2012, for those of you who might not know or remember. I even remember the one who was his biggest adversary, Jeannie Burlesque. How many of y'all remember who that is or who that was? All of this since 2012. But anyhow, I digress from that because that's beyond the subject matter. But that just goes to show you how long I've been on this platform. Hell, I can, no, I'm not even going, I don't need to bring up any more examples. But the video that she made that I actually addressed back in 2015, and this is what just confirms for me why I will never classify her as a pro-black. Not only was she talking about thug hunters, using it as a means to degrade black men, and when she's talking about this, she's not talking about the demographic of black men who find themselves engaging in this sort of filth and degeneracy. Who she is referring to and who she was looking to degrade are the masculine, heterosexual black men. This is what she wants to make a depiction of. But also she made a video back in 2015, and I remember she was stating that black men would be better off bending over and spreading their butt cheeks and allowing white guys to run up inside of them because they're so butt broken, they're so dominated, and they're so conquered. All of the talking points that y'all think she just came up with 2 or 3 years ago, no, she's had this for the better half of a decade now. And I remember responding to that. And as a matter of fact, if I look at my archives of videos, I'm pretty sure I can find that video that I made responding to her talking points. So I go back and tell y'all each and every time one of y'all want to come out here and say, well, she was a pro-black. She has not been now, nor has she ever been a pro-black. You were looking at a wicked, demonic woman on the goddamn screen. First of all, I mean, well, all these images that you see circulating of, this is just one of many images that you can find of Cynthia G. And the complicit thing within every last one of these images is when you look into her eyes, it's as if there's nothing there. Something is missing. It's as if she's completely gone. But this is what we're dealing with when it comes down to this woman. We're dealing with a wicked, mean-spirited, evil woman who has not been able to get past her trauma or whatever bad experiences that she has encountered dealing with black men. Now also, let me just say this because this really is a matter of what is it that black women have learned based off of the termination of Cynthia G's YouTube channel. What did you learn? Because like I said, not only have black women come to my comment thread stating that she's the truth and we're learning so much from her, and she's waking us up. Waking you up to what? What, by telling you to abort black male fetuses? And we're going to get into that in just a minute. Y'all are making videos saying that she's waking y'all up. But again, once again, my question is, what did you learn? Because if you look at the majority of these females, it is safe to conclude that the majority of you who are diehard Cynthia G followers are single. You don't have a man. You don't have the option to be able to date out. You can't get a man within the race because black men won't put up with you because you're so vile and disgusting that nobody cares to be around you. You probably have fallouts with many personal friends that you know who no longer want nothing to do with you. It wouldn't even surprise me if you're dealing with family that wants nothing to do with you because you are so goddamn vile and disgusting. You're probably miserable and angry all the time. And Cynthia G is one way for you to be able to vicariously vent your frustrations through her talking points. But then again, what the question is at large, what have black women learned? Because if she's waking y'all up, what can you actually take? What tangibles can you take behind any videos that she has made over the years? She has stayed in the same rut that she's been in ever since she got on YouTube. It was just a broader rut that she was in at that time, but she has now confined herself to just one ditch. Can you take any of her talking points and go build wealth, pass down generational wealth, acquire property, tangibles, resources? No. Can any of you take those same talking points and think that you can build connections with people? No. The only type of people that you are going to acquire around you are bitter, vile, nasty people like yourself that can't get over whatever past trauma they went through. This is just what you're dealing with. So the question is, once again, what is it that you have learned behind Cynthia G? And now let me go ahead and let y'all listen to all of what she was stating.
Women to understand something. Everything that Black men are doing, shout out to E Blacks for acknowledging that he's a dick-sucking thug hunter, because we know Black men pay so much attention to ghetto gaggers, but what they should be doing is paying attention to why they're all over thug hunters sucking white dick and getting white nut shot in their face.
You pause that for a second. You hear what she just stated? As I stated this before I even played the entire clip, that she tries to make an equal comparison to thug hunters, which many of you don't even know what the hell that is. Because it's that insignificant, it's that irrelevant. It's only a small remnant of beta males that find themselves, and the same beta males that she likes to affiliate herself with. These are the type of dudes you'll find on thug hunters. But she wants to make an equal comparison and use it as a depiction and an indictment on heterosexual, masculine Black men. But anyhow, let's continue. And also, by the way, these are talking points she has been using since 2015. But let's continue.
And this is the position that Black men like to be in. On that Fox Soul panel, what I heard Umar Johnson say is that Black men have been irreparably buck broken. They are the lesser males. They've been defeated. And because they've been defeated, they can't get up and do anything. It just is what it is. I think that bandit in here, I like to see Black men getting nut shot in their face from white men. That's why I look at thug hunters now. And you're actually lucky this is on YouTube, and YouTube is about censorship, because if it wasn't, I would show thug hunters and I would show just how much white dick you're sucking. And see, this is what Black men don't understand. You can't suck white dick and defeat white supremacy at the same time. You can't. You can't. And see, y'all are trying to defeat white supremacy with your mouth and your dick, and that's why you're still in it. See, because really don't nobody care about what your mouth is doing besides what that mouth can do. So you can come suck some dick if you want to. You can get on your knees and get butt broken if you want to. But at the end of the day, ain't nothing gonna change for you. Really, Black men should have been in.
All right. I played this for y'all roughly about a year ago. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, depending on when I made that production. But I screen recorded this from her live stream. This isn't a doctored up image that you're looking at, and I'm showcasing this section, this half of the screen right here, so y'all can see when I actually screen captured this. This was September 14th of 2022 at exactly 5:29 p.m. And now, for those of you Black women that once again are under the impression that you are learning so much from her. You see, Cynthia G really don't even like y'all, but the bottom line is just look at the depiction that she made of you. Look at this depiction of you got this beta male being coddled by this masculine brute. You can't even say that this is a woman. This is a masculine brute. This is the image of what she depicted of y'all. But yet and still, I'm gonna have foolish females come in my comment thread talking about she waking us up from what? What has changed in your life ever since you started listening to Cynthia G? But this is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with females who literally would look at a demonic, demented female like this and think that somehow she's here to save you. As a matter of fact, this would be the perfect time for me to go to my main backdrop. Now, let's just first start off with the termination of Cynthia G's channel. Because this is who y'all say that y'all are learning things from. I mean, the fact that she would even sit up on a panel and say something so damn vile and disgusting is beyond me. We understand that the history of her, she has a child by Robert Perkins. This all took place back in 2018. Now, I don't know how true this is, but I was under the impression that when she had this child, that she gave birth to a little girl. This is just what I was under the impression of. Now I'm hearing some other rumors stating that no, the child is not a girl. This is actually a little boy that she's raising. Now I want you to think about what she just stated in that clip that I played. It's not doctored up. It's not, I didn't piece it together to make it fit a narrative. No, this is what I recorded from the horse's mouth. Like I said, the image, the backdrop, none of that was anything that I put together. It's not a meme that I put together. That's not mine. So when you sit back and you listen to her making talking points like this, number one, she showcases what she thinks of you black women by simply depicting y'all as fucking brutes. Secondly, when you're sitting up here, you gotta ask yourself, what the hell is wrong with any female that would sit up here and say something like what she just stated about what she likes watching happen to black men on Thug Hunters? Now, let me go ahead and say this because, I've had some conversations with people that I've known for many years. And some of them have come forth and stated that they've gone through some really traumatizing situations with their parents. Where in certain cases they walked in and caught their parents masturbating or their father masturbating. Now, I never got into any details. I never asked anything. I just sat and I listened. So as far as I know, I don't know whether he was looking at something when he was doing this, whether he was just fantasizing about it. Nobody knows. And I say that for a reason. I'm not saying this to be funny. But Cynthia G just stated that she gets off watching the disgusting actions that take place to black men on Thug Hunters. I'm not going to repeat what she just stated. It's too disgusting. I don't have to repeat this shit. You already heard it for yourself, and I played this shit over a year ago. But now, imagine if she's raising a little boy, and if this is true, I can't imagine the type of horror that child is being put through. If she's stating that she gets off watching black men on Thug Hunters have specific acts done to them by white men, then can you imagine if that little boy would have one day walk in and catch his mother getting herself off, looking at something so disgusting and taking pleasure at this? How sick do you have to be to get online saying something this fucking ridiculous? And yet you're gonna have black women that are gonna get online and defend this crazy heifer who really needs to go ahead and seek professional help. But instead, what y'all do is y'all sit there, oh man, she's the truth, I like her, she's waking us up, I agree with everything that she's saying. And it just goes to let you know, where. I hate to say this, man. And let me go ahead and just it seems like every wicked, demonic agenda that takes place that is being casted onto black society, you have black women who are going to sit back and co-sign this. And let me just make this perfectly clear, because I'm not talking about all. But what I am saying is there is a uncomfortable portion of black women that you can find supporting degenerate behavior. I can't figure this shit out for the life of me. There's way too many black women that are still supporting the black churches and the black pastor, even though we have covered these topics for years. I've covered this over a decade ago about this black pastor. You still have black women that are supporting men who are sexually suspect, like Tyler Perry. Well, I'm not even gonna say, well, y'all can put two and two together. Do you think he's sexually suspect? Or is this just something that's still up in the air for a debate? Y'all sit up here and y'all support a man who runs around prancing around in dresses and skirts, has become a multi-millionaire, off of exploiting black women, and y'all are the ones that sit back and support this shit. As I've told you, it is black women that have introduced me to his plays and his movies. And I'm talking about back when I was still a teenager. But yet and still, now all of a sudden black women have an issue with Tyler Perry's talking point saying, hey, you might have to accept a black man who can only afford to pay a light bill. Now all of a sudden y'all got a problem with him. How dare he say what he say? Or you mean to tell me out of all the offensive shit that he has done over the years, out of what, 25 years of him literally degrading black women, making a caricature out of, making a mockery out of your image. None of that offends you. But now when he says, yeah, you might have to accept a black man who can only pay a light bill, and let's just face it, y'all ain't just accepting this out of black men. This can be a white guy, this could be a Hispanic guy. Some of y'all have come online and have admitted to the fact that you were dealing with broke men of other damn races, and you're taking care of them, and in certain cases, their kids. But yet you're so offended now behind what Tyler Perry said. Why? Why weren't you offended 20 years ago? When he started making money, making plays, making a caricature out of your image? Why weren't you offended then? You see, this is another reason why black women, it's very difficult to take a lot of you seriously, because when y'all sit back and y'all support this, I don't know what else I can say. And these are just, what, 2-3 examples that I've given? We can also talk about the fact that yet and still you have more black women who are in support of the Democratic Party that openly admit and profess their disdain for black society. And yet when black men finally say we've had enough of Barack Obama wagging his fingers in our face, we've had enough of these Democrats telling us that you're the better half, we've had enough of these damn Democrats literally trying to emasculate us, we're sick of it. It is black women, as we have seen back in the 2020 election, that will come out here and say, well, guess what? If these black men don't vote Democrat, then for those of you who are with them, don't sleep with them. It is only black women you hear saying insane shit like this. Y'all are the only race of women on the planet that will sit up here and try to make a talking point go viral like hashtag abort your black male fetuses. Y'all are the only race of women on the planet that do this. And then y'all wonder why your conditions haven't changed. And once again, I'm not saying this about all of you, but there's way too many of you who are embracing these demonic, sinister ideologies. You couldn't make this shit up in a guy. Listen, man, Netflix screenwriters couldn't produce this shit. But yet you got black women that will sit back and support this. Oh, we learned so much from Cynthia G. So my question is, what did you really learn from Cynthia G? Did she teach you how to be a good mother to your children? No. Did she teach you how to be a good wife? No. Is she teaching you how to make better selections? No. Because why is that? Because she herself can't even do the same herself. And the fact that you are dealing with someone who is a known, blatant hypocrite, to sit up here and tell you to stop dealing with black men, but yet at the same time she gets impregnated by a black man. And some might say, well, she didn't know any better. Well, see, her impregnation by Robert Perkins would have been more so excusable had she gotten involved with him before she got on YouTube saying what she was saying. Then we might be able to say, all right, you know, fine. She didn't know any better. She made a mistake. And then she eventually woke up. No, she's been espousing these talking points. She went down this downward spiral shortly after white men flagged her YouTube page. And I think this took place back in either 2016, 2017. Then she started focusing more so on black men. I know 2017, she started focusing more so on black men. 2018 is when she conceived that child from Robert Perkins. So the reason why I bring this up is because you have been espousing these talking points about black men being buck-broken, being dusties, being betas since 2015. How is it that you then find yourself telling black women not to deal with black men, but yet and still, you yourself can find yourself getting impregnated by a black man who fathers multiple children from multiple different women? You're just another notch under the goddamn belt as far as I'm concerned. So you have black women who are willing to sit back and listen to a blatant hypocrite Somebody who makes no sense, somebody that nobody in their right mind should take seriously. And this is deeply disturbing, but then again, you know something? I talked about something that happened to me back in 2015, the beginning of 2015, with a female that I was talking to. And I had stopped talking to her back, I would say, late summer of 2014. I just got tired of what I was dealing with, so I stopped talking to her. And every now and again, she would continue to reach out to me. At some point, I just deleted her number because I wanted nothing more to do with her. I was good. And she would continue to reach out once a month, twice a month, whatever it was. She would reach out. And then sometime 2015, as a matter of fact, it was the holiday season of 2014, late 2014, and she reaches out to me and I responded back saying, I don't recognize this number. Who is this? And then she stated who her name was. Then in 2015, I believe it's going on April, somewhere around February, March, April, somewhere around that time. And she reaches out to me on a social media site. And I say, okay. And then she leaves her number, like, you know what to do. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, I gave it a day to think about it. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to be upfront with you and just let you know, listen, I'm just not interested. And I told her this. And after I told her this, she responded back to me asking what was the issue. And I gave her a list of reasons of what I was just simply unhappy with and what just simply turned me off. I'm turned off. I don't want to be bothered. I'm good. And immediately after that, she responds back with a message giving me a list of stuff that she didn't like about me. Feeling how I kind of, I forgot exactly what was mentioned. I think it was something about a relative of hers and she felt I didn't show her the recognition that she should have gotten. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, you had months to come out and say this. If this were true, then you should have said this right then and there. And then she even went as far as to talk about my YouTube channel. Now, how she found out about that, I don't know because I didn't tell her. But she talked about she totally disagrees with my YouTube channel. Now, the crazy part is listen, if you felt so strongly about this, then why are you reaching out to me? Why are you leaving me your number? It's not like you're leaving me your number to say, hey, I would like to discuss your opinions and your positions of what you put on YouTube. That's not what she stated. It was a matter of reaching out to me like, hey, you need to call me. I miss seeing you. How come I don't hear from you anymore? This is what it was. So my thing is if this was your problem all along, then at some point you should have showcased this and let it be known, hey, I got a problem with you, whatever I felt you disrespected my relative. She should have said that right then and there. She didn't. We're talking about what, damn near 6 months later. And none of this was brought up until after the point and when I said, listen, I'm just simply no longer interested. Please leave me alone. And after this was all said and done and she went ahead and made that whole, just a bunch of nonsense that didn't even make any sense, complete inconsistencies. From that point on, she went to block me. And it wasn't like I was going to respond to her anyway, but she blocked me. I said to myself, that's kind of strange. Because you reached out to me. But the reason why I'm referencing this is to showcase, maybe is this the norm when it comes down to women? To be this fucking delusional. To the point where you can't even recognize that you're the one that reached out to me. I didn't reach out to you. There's no reason for you to block me because I'm no longer going to contact you. If it wasn't a sign or a red flag sign back in late 2014 during the holiday season when you reached out to me and I say, I don't recognize this number, who is this? It's like, it didn't dawn on you to ask, why did you delete the number? How come you don't still have my number? Or it didn't dawn on you to ask these questions. But yet, after showing a consistent track record that I have no interest because I don't contact you at all, now all of a sudden, you expect me to contact you. And when I give you the reason as to why I will no longer contact you again, and I would appreciate it if you didn't contact me ever again, then all of a sudden it's a matter of, no, I'm walking away from you. And see, females will do stuff like this to make it seem as if they're the ones that closed out that chapter. No, you didn't close out shit. The chapter had been closed before we even got to this point. Now, since you kept pressing the issue and thinking that you were entitled to my phone call, I'm letting you know that no, that's not gonna happen. And please don't contact me again. Oh, you want the reason now. Because now remember, I just made it clear that listen, I'm not interested anymore. And after I said that, the next message in response was, well, what's the reason why? What turned you off? So now you're asking for a reason. Because I wasn't going to give you a reason. I'm just going to tell you, go fuck off and leave me the hell alone in a polite manner, respectably so. But once again, the point that I bring up, or what I'm trying to get at here, is this is how delusional some of these females really are. To the point where they can't even recognize the reality. This is another reason why I don't even waste my time attempting to debate them. I'm just not doing it. It is a complete waste of time. If you can't see that the sky outside is blue and acknowledge that that's a blue sky that we are looking at, I don't know what to tell you. If you can't look at the flame on the stove and acknowledge that that flame is hot, I don't know what to tell you. If you can't acknowledge that you are sitting inside of an automobile, a vehicle, and acknowledge that this is a car that I'm sitting inside of and you want to call it something else, I don't know what else I can tell you. So maybe this is some of the mindset of what we're dealing with when it comes down to these black women that follow Cynthia G and think, hey, well, I'm learning so much and y'all just hating on her. No, not at all. Not by a long shot. So once again, what exactly did you learn when it comes down to Cynthia G? And I'm kind of taking y'all for a long roundabout detour just to bring you right back to where I initially started. What did you learn from Cynthia G? Oh, and by the way, this same female that I was just referencing from 2015, it was maybe a year or two after that. You know when you're on social media and all of a sudden recommends somebody for you? We recommend this as a suggested friend for you. And I'm thinking to myself, why is it suggesting this very same girl that I, a couple of years ago, I told her I want nothing more to do with? Why is it recommending her to me? And this just to go to furthermore demonstrate the delusion of what you were dealing with when it comes down to the female mindset. Because I deleted your number, so there's no reason why. I don't have no part of your contact, nothing of yours is saved in my phone. So there should be nothing that comes up. The only thing that can be confirmed is when it's recommending that you become friends with somebody else, is they still got your contact information. They still got your number. As a matter of fact, I remember I seen her, I was walking down the street and I seen her coming out of a building, and I looked the other way and I just kept on. I was talking to a friend over the phone and I just looked the other way and I didn't even acknowledge her. I just kept on going. But anyhow, when I looked at the images that she had on social media, here you had images of a pregnant woman and no man in sight. A pregnant belly and no man in sight. Because this is where your delusion gets you, when you refuse to acknowledge the goddamn truth. A pregnant belly and no man that cares to claim you and say that, yeah, this is the woman that's going to be birthing my child. This is my woman. This is my wife. This is where delusion gets you. And this is also another reason why I don't waste my time holding debates. And the reason why I can also concede to the fact that I lost that debate with the pink pill back in 2015, because there was no reason to debate her to begin with. There's nothing to talk about. And this is something a lot of you brothers are going to have to acknowledge. You are dealing with delusional females. When the reality slaps them right in the face, they still can't even acknowledge the reality. And you acknowledging the reality doesn't make you any less than. It actually means you have enough integrity and enough understanding to know that this is just what it is. Maybe I'm not pleased with the reality, but I can acknowledge that this is what the reality is. It is not in my favor right now. And maybe there's some things I can do to change it, but as of right now, this is what it is. So now, off of that subject matter, and back on to Cynthia G. Because many of y'all are running around thinking that she's so intelligent. Okay, my question is this. Let's just look at her level of intelligence. From what I understand, Cynthia G made somewhere around $15,000 to $20,000 a month on YouTube over her AdSense revenue. As impulsive as she is, she probably started getting these nice checks and probably moved into some fancy apartment building complex. Probably a rental, nothing that she owns. This is what I would assume. Because I don't think she has the mindset to think long term, because she can't see the bigger picture. She lacks foresight. This is how her channel could get flagged down. This didn't have to happen to her. So she's probably living above her means or living slightly under her means, and one hiccup and there you go. You're like, all right, I'm kind of in a downward spiral from here. So she was making somewhere around 15, 20 grand on YouTube a month, according to what people are stating on her AdSense. When she got on a live stream with one of these other dudes, she stated that, well, you know, that the channel's gone. She's like, well, do you want the channel back? The question is, do I want it back? And this is the reason why I've been taking breaks, and I really don't think I'm going to try to get the channel back, and this and that. This is what she's telling you. Understand, she's lying to you. For those of you who are gullible enough and stupid enough to believe in that lie, I got a bridge in Brooklyn I'll sell you for a real cheap price. She wants the channel back, and if she could have it back tomorrow, she would. There's no telling what she would do to actually get the channel back. But if she could get that channel back, she probably would sink pretty low in order to get it back, if she could. And the reason why I say this, pattern recognition. You recognize somebody's pattern. The first thing that took place when Cynthia G's channel got a strike put on it and was temporarily suspended and demonetized. The first thing she immediately goes to do, shortly afterward, is to create an entirely different account. In addition to that, throws up a GoFundMe. Now, some of y'all are saying that these are her family members that put this up. This is probably her that put it up, and she might be masking it under the guise of it being one of her family members, but this is Cynthia G that put up this GoFundMe. The goal was $15,000. The most she made was about $2,000, maybe a little bit more, probably maybe no more than $2,500. That's not a lot. Cynthia G has according to what people are saying, has over 130,000 subs. You didn't even get a quarter of what that number could have brought in. If you would have had, let's just say 50,000 subs, 30,000 subs, 20,000 subs, donate $1 each. She would have well exceeded that number of $15,000. Usually when people leave donations, they're usually a bit more generous than just $1. They leave anywhere between $5, $25, $30, and sometimes $50 to $100. So let's just say you got people leaving several dollars, anywhere from $5 to $50. If you get 30,000 people to do that, you made well over 100 grand in a GoFundMe. But you couldn't even get up to 2,500. Well, I don't know the exact number, but you couldn't get past 2,000. I mean, past $3,000 as far as the goal was to be reached. And the fact that she threw up the damn second YouTube page so fast, for those of you, I'm gonna go back and take it back and say, what have you black women learned from Cynthia G's termination? Because if she's so intelligent, now mind you now, this is supposed to be a college-educated woman. If she's this intelligent and you think that, man, I'm learning so much from her, you would have figured she would have taken the time to read YouTube's termination policies. Would you have had a couple of sisters get online and actually do that, that stated what was the reason that Cynthia G really got terminated? And YouTube states in their policies that if your channel has been suspended or you got a strike, then you cannot circumvent that suspension. You have to go through the entire process. Now, from what I understand, the suspension would have been somewhere about a week, and she might have been able to get that resolved. But she's so impatient, so hasty, so impulsive, that she immediately goes ahead and tries to start up another account, which she created another account, and attempts to monetize that account. And then the thing is, this is not done in secrecy. She's on a live stream where somebody's saying, okay, this is where you can find her. The revolution shall not be televised. This is what she does, literally putting herself out there. Now, the thing is, you already know you're a person that people don't like. Cynthia G, this is just what it is when it comes down to Cynthia G. She's too stupid to process the environment that she has created for herself. That you are somebody that people do not like. So the moment they know that your main channel is suspended and then they find that you're making another account, of course they're gonna go right after that one. So it takes no time at all. It's not like she even set this up as a, what is the damn shit, the word I'm looking for, as an unlisted, or just a spare account she has in the background. Has she just laid low for a little bit, chances are she might have been able to get this channel back. Now, if she had laid low and rolled through the process, then guess what? She probably would have gotten the channel back. She might have even been able to get it monetized. I don't think she would have lost the channel, even if she would have lost monetizations on it. I don't think she would have lost the channel. But due to the fact that she's so impulsive, so imbalanced, so unstable, lacks such foresight, she would immediately rush to start up another channel and then attempt to monetize that channel with this, most likely with the same information that she was using on her original channel that was monetized. And that right there is enough for YouTube to say, all right, you done, you terminated. And the thing is, according to their policies, once you have been terminated, you cannot reapply for monetizations again. You're out of the partner program. That's just what it is. See, the thing is, with a little foresight, Cynthia G should have seen this, but with a lot of foresight, Cynthia G would have never had to go through this in the first place. I mean, you listen to the talking points of what I showcased a little while ago. I mean, that's pushing the limit right there. But maybe people can say that that's not hate speech, so she might be able to get away with that. But when you sit here, and the thing is, from what I know, oh no, this is factual, because there was an article written about this, and this is what other people are showcasing on YouTube. It was a white woman that got that video flagged down and the account demonetized and suspended. And the video in question was titled, well, if aborting black male babies is not the solution, then what else is? My question is, once again, I'm gonna keep on drilling this home with y'all. For those of you black women that say that you learned so much from Cynthia G, my question is, what did you learn? Because here's the deal, YouTube has been changing their guidelines, and this is what she stated on the YouTube, on the live stream, when she was with one of these damn moist, effeminate dudes, is that YouTube changes up their guidelines just about every other month. Okay, I'm glad you acknowledge that. So if you acknowledge that, then you know that they are heavily, when it comes down to hate speech, that's a no-no. And the thing is, this really started taking place since 2019. So 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago, that YouTube really started cracking down on this. And everyone knew that, okay, you better be careful if you want your account to still remain in existence. When you were sitting here talking about the abortion of black male babies, okay, and just not based off of, well, is it going to be a healthy pregnancy? Is the baby going to have a bunch of birth defects? Is it going to be a complicated pregnancy? Can you afford to take care of this child? You're not basing this abortion off of none of the above. You are merely basing the abortion off of the fact that the child is black and male. That's hate speech. But see, y'all say y'all learned so much from this woman, but if she had any level of sense in her head, she should have known this. This is the woman that says she studied psychology, comes from a college-educated background, but yet was too stupid to realize that she's digging herself into a ditch. That yes, this can and will be classified as hate speech. And let me just go ahead and demonstrate how stupid she really is. Because according to what she stated, is that the video was flagged last year when she made it, because it was over a year ago. So what they're doing is they're retroactively flagging my videos. Well, listen, let me tell you something right now. YouTube just a few days ago removed one of my videos that I did back in 2021. So this is over a year and a half ago. I wouldn't talk about race, gender, none of the above. I was pointing out the inconsistencies and the hypocrisies with everything that has taken place in the circumstances that are following after 2020. And the information that I was giving was accurate, and you can actually find the same information right here on YouTube. YouTube decided to remove that video. Didn't strike the channel, nothing, say, hey, your channel's still in good standing, but this video doesn't meet our guidelines, so we're just gonna take it down, even after I appealed it. They don't give no specifics on nothing, but they just go ahead and they just start removing videos. This is what we're dealing with. So now, Cynthia G, if this can happen to me, and I'm not making a video that's talking hate speech, nothing, what I'm really doing is informing people. They said it was along the guidelines of medical misinformation, which the biggest perpetuators of medical misinformation is the mainstream media. But then again, let me digress from that. But if that video can be removed, why would Cynthia G think for 1 second that she can make a video talking about the abortion of black male babies based off of them being male? I mean, why would you think that this wouldn't fall right into the line, into the terms of hate speech? But once again, this is a woman who's so intelligent. I mean, when you thoroughly think about it, what you're really discussing is premeditated murder. I mean, Margaret Sanger couldn't come up with this shit. And here's the crazy part above all else, is the fact that you got black women that are sitting back listening to this. And I'm going to have to go ahead and give credit to Dennis Sperling, because the question will remain at large is how many of these women, of the minds of these women, has Cynthia G's talking points infected? Because the one thing, I said this a little while ago, black women seemingly gravitate, and once again, let me go ahead and make my distinction, not all of you, but unfortunately, a sizable portion of you seemingly gravitate toward every degenerate ideology that can take place that plagues black America. As a matter of fact, even when it comes down to these damn swirlers and divestors, I've heard some of y'all literally say, I have never encountered bad experiences. Sitting up saying this on a YouTube video, I haven't encountered any bad experiences from black men, but yet and still you align with the talking points of people who are this sinister. How does that happen? It just lets you know that they're very impressionable and they seemingly gravitate toward anything that throws black men under the goddamn bus. And it lets it be known, boy, shit, okay, you know what? The question I would ask is, how many of you have sat and listened to a Cynthia G video and now decide to act on her talking points based off of what you heard her say? How many of you are raising black sons that decide to act on her talking points based off of what you hear now? Now all of a sudden you got a problem with your little boy now based off of some nonsense and garbage of what Cynthia G is saying on YouTube. How many of you have done this? So the question that will remain at large, when y'all say that this is an intelligent woman, how smart is she really? I'm not going to get too much deeper into it. I want to pretty much wrap this up. But I will say this much. With everything that she has stated thus far, and I kind of got random. As a matter of fact, I might be a little bit longer than what I anticipated. Because I'm going to give you some examples. The talking point of aborting black male babies. I told y'all that y'all black women, you do not want this becoming synonymous with your image. You do not want this to be associated with your image. So you need to push back on this every chance you get. And this is why I continue to make distinctions that this is not all black women, because you have black women who have done this. But you don't want the crazies to be the loudest ones in the room. You want to drown them out. Because if this becomes synonymous with your image, this is just something that you don't need. There's a lot of negative stigmas and stereotypes that are being fought against, but you don't want this to become synonymous with your image. Now, the talking point of aborting black male babies did not originate from Cynthia G. That originated from Kendall St. Charles, also known as Brooklyn Blue, a running mate of the Pink Pill. And the talking point took place back in 2016 on a live stream that the Pink Pill was doing with Brooklyn Blue. And I remember when this took place, Brooklyn Blue said it. Crystalline Karazin did not say this, but she was laughing as she said it. However, she's not the one who actually said this. It was Brooklyn Blue. And the talking point started catching some attention. It started gaining momentum. People were actually screen recording that portion of the live stream and reposting it. It was brought up to Crystalline Karazin's attention multiple times back then. And at some point what she realized is, you know what, I can't have this affiliated with me. And she was smart enough, as much as I disagree with her, as much as a buffoon as she has been on social media for how many years? For more than a decade now. Even she herself had enough wits about it to say, you know what, let me take down this live stream. As a matter of fact, one of the brothers who had reposted this on one of his channels was New Possibilities. And shortly after he had posted this, shortly after she removed that live stream from her channel, she decided to go on a flagging spree or a scrubbing spree and literally flagged out anybody who had this reposted on their channel. Why? Because she did not want this to be associated with her image. I'm not saying that I agree with her on what she did and how she did it, or whether it was fair or not. I'm not saying that, but I do understand why she did what she did. And it was a clever move on her end to say, you know what, I need to get this shit off of YouTube. Sometime shortly after that, the both of them attempted to walk this back. Now, Brooklyn Blue is someone who doesn't even show her face. Nobody knows, only I think Cluster B might know what she actually looks like. Only a handful of women know what she looks like. If she were to sit down and have a conversation with me tomorrow, I would not know who the hell she is. And as much as I might not like her, if you're going to use talking points like this and espouse talking points like this, then you really got to be smart about how you go about doing it. Cynthia G has dug herself into a ditch. Now, the both of these women realize, okay, this is a jacket that I don't want to wear. And I'm talking about Brooklyn Blue and Crystal and Carison. I don't want this jacket being around my shoulders of the abortion of black male babies. So we got to do everything to take this jacket off and bury it. Because they knew how damaging this can be. Cynthia G was not one who had that level of common sense. The very same jacket that people who have been on this panel for much longer than she has, who understood the negative effects that this could have, that said quickly had discarded that. Cynthia G was more than happy to pick up that jacket, put it on, and wear it comfortably. This is just how stupid she is. Just to give you a little bit more insight on when she really started to take a downward spiral was back in 2018. And I remember Crystal and Carison was saying, yeah, you have a female sitting on YouTube talking about how she's no longer... Okay. I knew who she was talking about. I went and I found a live stream myself, and there you had it. Cynthia G was sitting on a panel on a live stream with a couple of people. And she literally broke down in tears because she was no longer employable. She could no longer work in corporate America. Now, this is a woman that was working in corporate America, espousing talking points about white men, calling them evil albino devils, calling them Neanderthals. I mean, listen, if that's how you feel, that's one thing, but for you to sit on a panel and espouse this bullshit publicly and to be stupid enough to show your fucking face while doing it, my question once again, the $500 question that sits at large is, what have you black women actually learned from somebody who is this fucking reckless? To the point where she literally has burnt damn near every bridge that she has had. Nobody with sense in their head does anything like this. And we all know that there are certain things you just can't come online saying. So when white men checked her and shut down her channel, and now she realizes she can't even go out there and work a 9-to-5 anymore, she figured, okay, there's still an avenue in it for me to go ahead and bash black men. We're not talking about a harsh critique. We're not talking about a strong analysis. We're talking about straight up bashing, slander, and hate speech, which is what she does on a daily basis. She was too stupid to realize that doing this, that, hey, you are burning yet again another bridge. And furthermore, was too stupid to have enough foresight to realize that YouTube is changing its policies rapidly, and I can't sit online talking about aborting black male babies, because at some point it's going to get classified as hate speech. Now, as stupid as she is, she'll say, well, guess what? They tried to flag it before. That was red flag sign number 1. That should have been enough for her to say, okay, you know what? Let me rethink this through, and maybe I need to go set these videos to private. Which is what most people do when they realize you have older content that is very hard hitting, that you're really pushing the envelope here. You stop and think and say, wait a second. Maybe this needs to get set to private because this might not fit the guidelines of YouTube. She didn't have enough sense to think that way. What she does is she manages to get a human review. I want somebody to do a human review of this video. and confirm for me whether this can be monetized or whether it is not monetizable. And the human review says, well, you know what, the video meets the standards, you can keep the video up. Upon doing that, it didn't dawn to her that, okay, that was a close call. Maybe I need to start setting these videos to private. Think about it. Cynthia G was stating when she got on a live stream with one of these beta males, talking about she'd been taking breaks. Now, how true this is, I really don't know, because I don't watch her. But I will say this, if this is your bread and butter, well, I know this is your bread and butter just based off of the fact that you tried to remonetize a whole nother account, while your main account was under suspension and under review, which completely violates YouTube's policies, and this is why your channels were removed. So it lets me know that this is your main bread and butter. And if you understand that this is your main source of income, then you don't fuck it up by saying a bunch of shit that will put your channel in jeopardy. Now, this is where Cynthia G backed herself into a corner. When YouTube went ahead and said that they were going to remove my video, they gave me a chance to review that video that I did back in 2021. The video was 2 hours and 15 minutes long. And I sat down, I got through a good chunk of it, more than an hour. I didn't get through the whole thing. But I said I got the gist of this. And what I was stating in that production was that, listen, I'm pushing the envelope. And what I also told people, if you're listening to this production, you might want to download it. Because I don't know how long this is going to be up. Chances are YouTube is going to strike this video down. Now, it took more than a year and a half before they did so, or more than a year, should I say, but eventually they took the video down. So I knew I was pushing the envelope. But when YouTube gives you the time to review this stuff, that was a 2 hour and 15 minute long production. I don't make productions that often. I make them once a month, once every couple of months, once every 6 months. This is how frequently I produce content on this channel. If Cynthia G's main source of income is YouTube, she's making multiple live streams a week. Whether it be 3, 4 live streams a week, and we're talking probably at least an hour and a half to 2 hours. So now this is where you fuck yourself, because now you have an entire archive of videos, a library of videos loaded with hate speech. But here's where the catch-22 comes in, because these videos are generating income for you now. So now you've made so many of these productions, and the thing is, even with the productions that I make, I don't remember everything I say from one production to the next. And if it's a matter of, this channel might be under attack, let me think long and hard. If you have stuff that is questionable in your videos, and you got, listen, it takes a while just to get through a 2 hour long production. Can you imagine you got 2 hour long productions that you do 3, 4 days a week, 5 days a week? So now if you want to say, okay, let me go ahead and scrub this channel and check what can remain on YouTube and what violates its terms of service, now you have to spend all of those hours backtracking over all of those goddamn videos, because you don't know what type of crazy shit you done said in these goddamn videos. And this is what happens when you have somebody like a Cynthia G that gets reckless with her fucking mouth, doesn't know how to curb that goddamn mouth, and doesn't have foresight to say, let me just change what I'm doing here so I can still keep this channel and make money off of this channel. This is what I mean when I ask y'all, what exactly did you learn from Cynthia G? Because from what I'm seeing, this is not a woman that's very intelligent. This is someone who lacks intelligence damn near in its entirety. But y'all will sit back and listen to this individual and swear up and down that you're learning something. What did you learn? She didn't even have the foresight to say, you know what? Yeah, talking about aborting black male babies, yeah, that is hate speech. And listen, just to go ahead and let you know how this is, and I gave y'all a breakdown last year when I made a video talking about this. What this really is premeditated murder. Because you're not aborting the child based off of this will be a complicated pregnancy. The child will come out with birth defects. I don't know how I'm going to take care of the child. That's not why you're aborting the child. How long does it take before you can determine the gender of that child in your stomach? Probably at least 3 months, I would say. A rough estimate. At that point in time, you got little hands and feet on the baby, a nose, a mouth, eyes, toes, legs. So at this point in time, you have a living life inside of you. And you are talking about aborting, terminating that offspring off of the mere fact that it's male and it's black. And somehow, Cynthia G did not have enough wits about her to realize that falls directly under hate speech. She was too stupid to see this, and she backed herself into a corner. Even if she said, let me just take down 1 or 2 videos and try to switch it up. If you're banking on all these goddamn videos and they're bringing in money and you want to keep bringing in that 15 to 20 grand a month, guess what? You still got to keep them videos up, which leaves you open. It leaves you bent over, wide open with your pants down. And you're just hoping that somebody doesn't seize the opportunity to run up inside you. This is literally the situation she put herself into, because if you decide to put those videos to private, now they can no longer generate an income for you, and you got to start from scratch and hope that the new videos and the content that you produce can still bring in that same level of income that you was generating from the previous videos that you set to private. This is what we're dealing with. So my question I asked y'all, once again, black woman, what exactly did you learn from somebody like this? Now, I gave you an example of Brooklyn Blue and Crystal and Carison. I'm no fans of them. I don't like them under any circumstances. However, they did have enough common sense and wits about them to say we cannot have this be associated with our image. One who we all know who Crystal and Carison is, and Brooklyn Blue, it really wouldn't even matter because nobody even knows who the hell she is. She can pop her head up and duck her. She can come and hide just as she please, and no one knows who she is. And she's the one that originated that talking point of aborting black male babies. The next thing I want to bring up, and this is probably going to be the final talking point that I bring up. Before I go into that, let me say this. Also, y'all remember, what was it? Crystal Swirls. How many of you remember that cycle? I mean, boy, if that's a nut job to say the least. But this is a nut job who got online, and many of y'all liked the fact that she was just saying some of the raw, just disgusting bullshit she was saying. And then many of you asked the pink pill, hey, why don't you support Crystal Swirls? Why don't you back them? And Crystal and Carison, like I said, with all of the buffoonish shit she has gotten herself involved in over the years, came out and said something and said, listen, I can't have that affiliated with my brand. Y'all might be decent people or whatever the case may be, but if you're sitting up here calling black men apes, monkeys, and bullet bags and trash bag dusty, I can't have that associated with my brand. I can't do it. Because I'm in certain spaces and I can't have somebody come to me, approach me and say, hey, you support this? And playing a Crystal Swirls video. So listen, like I said, as much as she has gotten herself caught up in foolishness, Crystal and Carison has enough wits about her to not be caught up or not affiliate with certain people that she knows will tarnish her brand. This is another reason why her channel has never been flagged down out of all the years she's been on YouTube. Say what you want to say about her, but this is someone who, if nothing else, has enough foresight not to get caught up with Cynthia G. And there's been other sisters who have said the same goddamn thing. Now, for my final point that I want to bring up, there was a woman that first came online back in 2012. Many of y'all probably don't even know or remember who she is or who she was. But she was the first one, at least from what I can recall, that got on YouTube and made a viral video trashing black men. This woman went by the name of Miss Prophet. Okay? Now, we can say in many cases, some of the females who have gotten online and made videos like this weren't the best and brightest. They weren't the sharpest knives in the drawer. And you can look at her and tell she wasn't the sharpest knife in the drawer. She got online on camera and started espousing what she espoused about black men. She got much flack back in response for it. And as a matter of fact, one of her videos went viral. I think it was the first one she did, calling black men assholes. When the video made its way to World Star Hip Hop, and when she found out or caught wind that it made its way to World Star Hip Hop, she came out and said, well, really? Y'all had to make my video go viral and go to World Star Hip Hop? How come y'all just couldn't clean this shit up? Now, I'm not gonna ever sit here and say that it's our responsibility as black men to take the video down or clean the shit up. Well, take the video down, that might be a little different, but to clean up a mess that a grown-ass woman went out here and caused for herself. That's not our responsibility. It's not. But I do understand the point of where she was getting at. The fact that she wasn't happy. She wasn't online looking for attention and trying to go viral and be known for having talking points like this. She was online with these videos, I think sometime in the fall of 2012. 2013 rolled in, as viral as she went at that time. 2013 rolled around and no one was even talking about it. It was like a forgotten thing of the past. I completely had forgotten about her up until 2018, where it was found out that Robert Perkins had impregnated Cynthia G. And I didn't know who it was at first. I was just listening to the videos and who was talking about this. And I just heard this woman using talking points. I said, the voice sounds familiar, but I can't recognize who this is because she didn't show her face. But then when she started saying certain talking points about Robert Perkins, and just the scenario that took place, that he didn't even have enough money to fill his gas tank, his car with gas, so he could come to our house to come see her. And this is something else that a habit that Robert Perkins has is like he seems to have an attraction to black male bashing females. But that's beside the point. I'm going to leave that for the second production that I'm going to make on this. But the reason why I remember that is I remembered a talking point that he made back in 2012 when this whole thing happened. Because this is what Miss Prophet talked about. Robert Perkins' response was, how you gonna say that I'm broke and ain't got money to fill up my damn car with gas, but you ain't even got a car? This is, you know, I'm kind of paraphrasing to a degree, but this was the gist of his response. And when I heard that talking point, I said, okay, now I know who this is. This was that lady, Miss Prophet. How many of y'all even remember who that was? This was a long time ago. Over a decade ago. What, about 11 years ago? Somewhere around there, roughly? Now, the question is, why was she coming back with a channel with a completely different name, not showing her face, a blank screen? Why was she doing this? And like I told you, the people who've gotten involved with some of these squabbles were not the best and brightest, but the reason why she did it, and it made sense to me. She understood that the talking points of what she was saying from 2012, that was not going to be a good image, and that this could follow her, and she didn't need to have nothing like this following her. So she decided, I guess, to get off of YouTube, or maybe just make a whole new account and just not show her damn face. I don't even know if she's still on YouTube within this day and age, because 2018, that was over 5 years ago. So people who were not the best and brightest were smart enough and had enough foresight to them to understand that I cannot have this associated with my name. I cannot have these talking points affiliated with my image. So therefore, I need to go ahead and do something different, whether it be hiding my face, whether it be getting off of YouTube altogether and just starting over fresh. See, these are people who, at least to some degree, have a level of foresight. But yet you have a woman with a college-educated background, studied psychology, that has countless black women looking up to her. And what y'all are saying is that we learned so much from Cynthia G, but yet Cynthia G didn't have the most basic foresight to foresee this ditch that she was digging to throw herself in at the end of the goddamn day. As I've told y'all over a year ago, Cynthia G is in a ditch. She is in a ditch that she can't climb out of. And it's not like the talking points that she made, that she said it once or twice, a fraudulent slip, and all right, let me not say that again. No, these are talking points that she has carried throughout her YouTube channel for years. And on top of that, we all know what she looks like because she's crazy enough to get online and show her fucking face. My question is, how intelligent is this woman if she couldn't even foresee this coming? And if she couldn't foresee this coming, what is it that she can necessarily teach you? Cynthia G has remained in the same rut that she has been in since 2015. She has not evolved. She is regressing. And the only thing that she can do is cultivate a group of bitter, angry females that have not figured out a way to get past their past traumas and move forward. Nothing that she says can actually help you. Will it give you a feel-good moment? Yes. Does she say things that are catchphrasy? Yes. Is she a jock? Yes. But can you actually take what she's saying and build and expound upon it and use it to enhance your life to make you a better person? No, you can't. And for those of you who don't believe me, go ahead and attempt to do what Cynthia G has done. That is a miserable female. I can see it within her goddamn face. She's miserable. She's angry. She knows she can't climb out of this goddamn ditch that she dug for herself. And maybe at some point she had people saying, hey, you might want to back off of some of the shit you're doing right now. But since she's so impulsive, cannot control her emotions, she finds herself digging herself into a ditch and just steadily keep going. It's kind of like this. Just imagine you got a group of motorists on the road, everybody driving an automobile. You're all on the road. And at some point you acknowledge that it's level playing field, it's a nice smooth pavement, the road is clear, the skies are clear, but at some point there are signs that indicate that this road will come to an end. Now, whether you were flooring it a minute ago, you start to adapt or drive accordingly. Cynthia G is one of those motorists. The only difference is here she is, pedal to the goddamn metal, flooring it. Despite the fact that people are trying to warn her, hey, the road is about to end. The road is about to end. You might want to slow down. There's a detour over here to the left or to the right. You might want to slow down. Everyone else is adapting accordingly so they can not get caught up in the situation. Cynthia G is the only one pedal to the metal. And to the point where she goes past the yellow hazard cones or whatever the case, and now she's on uneven playing field. And to the point where her car winds up in a ditch. Now, the only reason that she can find herself in this situation is this is a woman that does not exercise critical thinking. And this is exactly, you can look at that car and that ditch that she's in, that's her YouTube channel. That's her finances now. Because she did not have the foresight, despite the fact that there were multiple warning signs that stated, maybe I need to pump the brakes right now. Maybe I don't need to make the abortion of black male babies a hashtag, a trending talking point. Maybe I need to rethink this one. She doesn't have that foresight. And for any of you who are stupid enough to follow her path, you will wind up in the same rut that she is in. Now, she ain't got no damn man, so she has nobody that can help her get through this. She's gonna have to deal with this by herself. The dude that she had her child with, he don't want nothing to do with her ass, so she's stuck in a rut now. And when you thoroughly analyze what she's going through and will let you know she's probably having financial difficulties is the fact that she threw up a GoFundMe immediately and started a whole new YouTube page. It hadn't even been a week and she was trying to get monetized again. And that's what did her in. But see, as crazy as y'all are, y'all not going to blame the white woman who initially put the spotlight on her. Because that's what that white woman did. She didn't flag her channel down. She put the spotlight on that video and said, why is this being monetized? The one who initially got her channel taken down was Cynthia G. The ultimate one that could be blamed behind this is Cynthia G. But y'all won't do that. Y'all sit up here and try to find excuses to blame dusty beta males and talk all the nonsense. And listen, I'm going to say this much. Well, you know what? I'm going to save that for the next production. But this is what y'all have been supporting. And clearly you see how this is a woman who literally was setting herself up for disaster. Despite the fact that people who have been on YouTube, veterans who have been on YouTube for years, understood that no, at some point I cannot be affiliated with certain things. And I need to be smart enough, if I'm going to call myself a teacher of black women, to not be caught up with genocidal talking points. And even some of those who weren't the best nor the brightest, weren't the brightest, the sharpest knife in the drawer, nor the brightest bulb on the tree, were smart enough to disassociate themselves from certain talking points that they made when they probably stopped and thought about it and said, okay, I'm overly emotional at that point in time. I wasn't thinking clearly. Now that I'm thinking clearly, let me start slowly pulling back from this. Cynthia G did not have that level of common sense. She didn't have that level of wits about her. So my question to y'all, for those of you who are supporters of her, is what exactly could you learn? What exactly did you learn off of a woman that didn't even have enough foresight to see every red flag signal that was coming directly at her? What could you learn from that? Because if you go down that same path, you will find yourself in a ditch that you cannot get out of. Cynthia G will not be able to shake this from her name, ever. She's done. She's no longer employable in corporate America. That should have been red flag sign number one. She can no longer go back on YouTube and make another channel and gain the same monetization or even monetize that channel. I understand she's banned off of YouTube. And if you are still at this point in time that dumb enough to think that somehow, man, she is teaching us something, well, listen, I'll tell you one last thing before I go. I got a bridge in Brooklyn I'll sell you for an even cheaper price. And with that being stated, that's all I got to say in this production. And I'll catch you on a later date.